The man, the myth, the legend, Joe Bartolozzi has released a video about the worst movie universes to live in. Now, for one of these universes, of course, is the MCU, and man, does he have some hot takes in there. Before I get into any of his opinions, I want to start by saying I love Joe, alright? I've been watching him for a while, and I love his philosophical videos and how he puts the thoughts I've had myself into conversation. We have a super healthy parasocial relationship going on. So I do know that Joe isn't the biggest Marvel guy or whatever. He's just a dude who watches the movies casually. So yeah, I really shouldn't take his opinions on nerd shit to heart, but why not bait some other Joe Bart viewers to come over to this channel, right? So let's dive right in and have a completely nice and calm discussion on his completely wrong opinion.
What movie would I hate to live in? Human Centipede.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
So the video basically opens up with the premise of if you had to live in a movie universe, which ones are the worst? The video Joe is watching starts with the Marvel universe. This then leads to Joe bringing up something that he doesn't really like about the MCU.
What I don't like is how in the Avengers films, they never broadcast like how many people just died. Like, this is a, like, world-eating apocalypse situation in one of the biggest cities in the United States. And no one died. Where's the fucking car just crushing a family of 5? They never show that. They should show that.
Now, for one thing, these are like PG-13 movies, right? They're kind of going for the fun superhero vibes. So scenes of just people dying are pretty bleak and depressing in your superhero movie. There are ways to show an evil threat without just straight up killing people. Maybe Joe just loves Invincible and The Boys and how they don't shy away from the actual death and destruction from these battles. But it's not like no one dies in these events. They literally show this in Civil War with all the destruction and lives lost from the previous movies. It's kind of what the whole movie's about. I don't know, maybe he forgot or something.
In Thunderbolts, the main villain... In Thunderbolts, the main villain's like popping a lot of people into the dark universe. Like he goes like, boom, and you just disappear into the shadow realm. And one of these kids almost gets hit by a car and the guy saves him. And then the dude just goes, boom, and kills the kid. And in the film, while I'm watching it, I go, they finally did it. Because realistically, like people are going to die. And then at the end of the film, spoiler alert, he just spawns back. He just comes back. Stupid, right? Like, you have to show that shit.
Now, I can kind of see what Joe's saying here by how shocking it was for that kid to seemingly die randomly. But him saying it's stupid that the kid came back is weird to me. Because the point is that they're trapped in the void and the Thunderbolts managed to save everyone from it. He's saying realistically people would die, but I hate to break it to you, I don't think anyone in real life has been put into the void, let alone see flying shadow men fly around the skies of New York. Like, from the movie's logic, it makes sense. I don't think it's stupid or anything, but I'm sure he's just talking about how he thinks it's dumb they undid the child's death, which I think is a fine opinion to have.
Idiot to want to live in the Marvel.
No. Look at him. He's covering his mouth. He's smiling. He knows he's rage baiting.
After Endgame, you realize that there's no stakes to anything. That's why they suck now. I love Marvel. I love Marvel games. I love Marvel Rivals. I used to love Marvel Snap, right? But there's no stakes.
Now, I do think there's criticism here that is valid, but I feel it's pointed in the wrong direction. I wouldn't say there are no stakes. I just think there's a lack of direction and progression. From what Joe is saying, then almost none of the Marvel movies have stakes because almost all of them end just fine. Black Panther, Homecoming, Iron Man, Ant-Man, Guardians, Thor, for the most part all of them. But there were consequences for these movies that exceeded just living or dying. And I think that could be said for some of the newer movies too. He mentions it later in the video, but No Way Home is a good example of this, with everyone forgetting who Peter is. There's other movies like this too, Far From Home's ending, Eternal's ending with What's-Her-Name getting taken, as well as The Sentinel and the Earth, Quantumania's ending with all the Kangs now being able to go to their world or something, Brave New World having that weak-ass ending. There are consequences from these movies. The difference is, I don't really care what happens now. It's either vague or it just doesn't go anywhere. This is because for a while there wasn't really any plan until they came up with one and then they had to change it last second. So that's why I think Joe is saying there aren't any stakes, but hey, that's just me.
After Endgame, like, you know it's going to be okay. There's never going to be a bad ending.
Again, this is like every superhero movie, even before Endgame. That's why Infinity War was so unique, because it left you with the heroes losing. Like, does he want everyone to start losing every movie? Again, I think it's because shows like Invincible and The Boys have episodes where heroes kind of lose and people die, so I think he's more into that. Just my take, I don't know.
It's always going to be, we fixed it. Everything's good now. Oh, everybody died? I found a stone that brings everyone back to life. You died? I'm powerful enough to revert it. Stupid.
I do think this is a valid concern. The universe is getting so complex that power levels and abilities are now so absurd that you can poke holes in any story and say, how come they didn't do this?
Tony Stark's dead. They only killed Iron Man in Infinity War because it was a fucking big deal for them to do it. And they needed to do it because it was a resolution. Somebody needed to die. So they had to kill meaningful characters. And they should have done more. They should have killed more characters. They had a few characters die, and it was like, okay, this feels like there was loss, but a good resolution. Every other Marvel movie ever has never had that.
Now, I do feel like we're downplaying the emotional and storytelling aspects of Tony's death here. Like, yeah, someone had to die, but the execution of it is pretty well done. It makes sense for his character leading up to this point. The whole movie sets it up pretty well. And yeah, you know he's probably gonna die, but they do a good job at making you not want it to happen. I guess they could have had more people die, but then I would feel like it'd make Tony's death a little less meaningful when everyone else is dying and sacrificing themselves. Besides, some people do end up staying dead from Infinity War. Kinda. Hey, wait, he might be onto something.
Aunt May died?
Fuck Aunt May.
Are you serious? Aunt May died. Canonically, Aunt May dies in every fucking Spider-Man situation.
Now, I know he's gonna correct himself here as he's thinking of Uncle Ben and how he dies in every story, so why are we so sad about it? And yeah, it makes sense, but this clip leads into what I want to talk about next. Also, it's funny watching the rest of this knowing he's thinking of the wrong person.
Aunt May died. Boo fucking who. She's a meaningless character. There's not going to be an Aunt May film. You know there's not going to be an Aunt May film. She's a character that's meant to die. She's written as a dying... Aunt May, Spider-Man needs Aunt May to die. You could see it coming from a mile away. You're thinking of Uncle Ben? Oh, I'm thinking of Uncle Ben.
Anyway, let's move on.
I also hate to be that guy, but like any Superman, I know it's like fictitious. Any of the other films where like Spider-Man, Superman, like they catch somebody that's like falling or they pick somebody up at flying speeds. Like either A, the brute impact or the G-forces are killing you. Red mist, right? Spider-Man or Superman just grabbing somebody that's falling to their death, catch them in their arms. Well, poof, literally explodes right in your face.
You see what I mean when I say I think Invincible and The Boys and Hancock have kind of influenced his opinion here? And there's nothing wrong with that. I like those stories. I just think it influences his opinion on Marvel stuff too.
There's always, oh my God, everything's bad. Everyone's going to die. It's good now. It's bad. Everybody's going to die. It's good now. So there's no suspense. So future Marvel movies are always less hype and more less hype because after Endgame, you know that for the next 10 years, they're just going to spew shit where no one dies. And when they do kill a character, it doesn't matter because no one cares.
He's kind of actually saying what I have, so I got to give him credit here. I forgot he said this. Maybe he should have started with this because I think he definitely lost some people with the whole Aunt May rant.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Brother. Wait, who dies in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? I forget. Yondu? Oh my God, Yondu? Yondu, side character. Rocket's friends? Yeah, it's sad. But guess what? They killed meaningless characters. They don't matter. They get you to attach to them and then kill them so they can just churn the same shit the next time. You see what I mean? They introduce a character and kill them on purpose. The Walrus's only purpose in the Marvel Universe was to die.
I think it's a bad example for the chatter to bring up, but downplaying Yondu's death, like, it was presented pretty well in the movie. Yeah, when you look at face value, it's just some side character, but I also guess people can view him as more than that. As far as his point goes, yeah, it's not like a character we like dying, it's just you get to feel for Rocket's backstory, so I agree with Joe there.
Ooh, no, they did do it well when MJ doesn't remember Tom. That counts as a loss. I'll give Marvel a check on that.
Just thought I'd show this to give Joe credit here. I mentioned it previously, but I do want to include it here.
Bro, What's the one where Will Smith is a superhero? That one's good. That's a good fucking superhero movie. Hancock. Hancock's a good film. He's a fucking alcoholic. He fucks up. People die. Hancock is like The Boys before The Boys. It's like a real superhero. He has unlimited power, but he has like a massive drug problem, and he's depressed.
Again, here's what I'm talking about. But like, to be real, Joe is right that Hancock is good, up until the halfway point. Once Hancock's wife reveals herself and the backstory is explained, it just turns into a stupid story. I prefer the superhero aspects of this film, and not the ancient gods are destined to fall in love or whatever. That's just my take on it.
It's a good film. Right? You can relate to it more. Nobody can relate to Thor, right? Nobody can relate to Star-Lord. He's just a guy. He's like a superhero. You can relate to Star-Lord.
Ah, yes, I can relate to the immortal god that has amnesia, but you can't relate to the adopted kid with daddy issues that loves rock music from the 70s. You see, it's kind of how you paint it out. Hancock does have substance abuse, thinks he was abandoned, and is lonely despite having power people only dream of. Star-Lord is a space pirate, scavenger hunter person with a literal god as a father. There are aspects of characters that people can relate to, it's just they're put into unique scenarios.
Thor's girl dies of cancer, by the way. Don't you think Thor could, like... You know, he's not a healing god. You don't think he could pull some strings? If I was dating Thor and I was dying of cancer, I would go, you can't fix this. I know Asgard's gone. There's nothing. It's cancer. I know. He's Thor.
I don't know, Joe. Do you want consequences and people dying or not? I don't know if Thor can fix that. Why don't you go ask him? Oh, wait, you can't. Oh my gosh, he actually rage baited me, dude. Well, that's pretty much it on what he had to say. He had some decent points, but some things I think needed to be addressed. I'm sorry. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. I did making it. Go check out Joe's vid. He talks about more stuff. And check out the original guy's video. He's pretty entertaining too. Those links are in the description. Let me know who I should steal more clout from next. And if this video doesn't work, then, damn. All right, see y'all in the next one. Peace.